Talk about the first series that I'm truly diving into. Talking to my brother D Square. Check up top, definitely follow him. I'm a novice when it comes to comics. Dude knows his shit. So if you are a comic book nerd, geek, and you want a little bit more fluff around some shit, check him out. But when talking to him, I always asked, hey, what is a good jumping on point? You know, you have so many years of experience compared to me, and then so many years prior to even him. Where should I jump in? And he always just said, you know what, just dive in. Find a story you want, dive in. So I started getting some graphic novels. I read things like Spider-Man Blue in the past, manga. But then he mentioned House of X, or House of 10, and Powers of X, or Powers of 10, to be politically correct. So I dove, as this is the very first true series that I started reading. He's like, look, there's going to be 6 issues of each one. They intertwine. It's basically a fresh rebirth of mutants and the X-Men. Perfect time to jump in. And I did. And I love them. Absolutely love them. So, want to know truly what I think about them and why I think you should check them out? Let's talk about it. So like I said, we got House of 10, Powers of 10. Issues 1 of each. Loved them. Definitely good jumping on point. First things, this issue blew me away in the fact that I read it and I was like, alright, I want more. I want to know where this is going. This is awesome. I don't know truly all the, finer details of what happened before all this. I know, mutants were being eradicated and some of them were gone, and all of a sudden you open this and you're just like, oh, we have characters being reborn. That's all I'm going to get into. I want to try to keep it non-spoiler for you guys. But I just like, because it's a different take on some of the characters. You have Xavier walking around, as you can see on the cover, a helmet, and then you have White Magneto, followed by some additional X-Men behind them. So as you know, right now this is a team. And just, it brings it in that it's not, the humans don't have the power this time. The X-Men are considering themselves gods, and it's the humans are the powerless, and the humans have to agree before they turn around on the offensive. So it's just a really nice take, and the end of the book kind of bringing in, like I mentioned, they're basically gods at this point. That's how they are acting to the rest of the world. And then to follow up the next week, we have Powers of 10, which this one is a little bit different because you have House of 10 kind of focusing on the now. This is what's going on. This is how the rebirth happens. This is what's going from here. Powers of 10 takes place over 4 different time periods. So you get a lot of time jumping here. For example, what is it? X-Zero is like early Charles Xavier in college and meets McTaggart. Then you have, I believe 10, which is the now, which is basically where House of 10 takes place. Then you have X100, and that's basically kind of where the cover's from. You have, Rasputin, which to me when I first looked at her, I was like, it seriously looks like Colossus had a baby with Nightcrawler, and she has, Soul Blade. But yeah, she is basically in the same, Rasputin family, so she does have the powers, similar to Colossus, but this really kind of dives into those 4 time periods, and then the one, was it 1000, I believe it was late in the future, and it kind of throws you a loop because it talks about like the librarian, and each time period there is basically a main overseer of what's going on with the mutants, or who's trying to eradicate the mutants, or who has the history behind what happened. So it's really interesting because this is going to jump in between those time periods instead of focusing on one. I did like it. It was a lot more action-packed than House of 10. So you actually get to see Rasputin just fuck some shit up, which is crazy, trying to save her quote-unquote sister. We'll leave it at that. And then, kind of circle back with the, I believe it, kind of brings back with the ending of the distant future, and kind of where the mutant mankind or mutantkind is sitting at. So these two really played off one another really well, and I'm excited to start talking about the next 2 issues, because that's when shit really was just like, what's going on? And I got my first true trippy comic book where I was just like, what? And talking to my bro D Square on the podcast, he was even, as a experienced reader, was just like, I was mind blown. What the fuck happened? So be on the lookout for that. But with these two, definitely recommend reading them if you're an X-Men fan. Everybody I've talked to about them says they have absolutely been loving where this is going, and it is absolutely going into new areas that you never expect from an X-Men comic. So as that novice reader that I am, I do plan on finishing both these out and then branching into some of the weekly or monthly issues, because once these are done, there's, I believe, 4 or 5 main series that are actually going to be kind of the permanent storyline. So that's going to be a little interesting to see where this goes. But I definitely recommend them. Easily 4 to 5, both series so far. Go out and grab them yourself. Let me know what you think. If you comments, feedback, you want to talk about the issues, comment down below. If you want to know when I'm posting more videos, feel free to toss me a subscribe, set up notifications. But I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. Vulsker out.
Hey everyone, I don't know about you, but every time I play Mario, I don't want to go around, punch shit, take mushrooms, and then just go jump and wallop on people. Do you? Come on. These video game violence articles and just the destructive thoughts to other artists and companies that have a dream and have a vision are now being attacked because today's society. If you're like me, we gotta say enough is enough.